welcome to Campbelltown for an all-Sydney clash that has so much more riding on it than just local bragging rights. Macarthur and Sydney FC have both slipped out of the final spots on the back of some rather indifferent form of late, and with games starting to run out, the need for 3 points this evening is crucial for both. It's a lovely evening in the southwest of Sydney, and the Sydney FC fans, as you can see, have travelled in numbers. A short hop down the road to face the Bulls, who've suffered from some pretty high-profile exits of late. Jed Drew, Valère Germain, Ariath Pjol, Dino Arslanigic and Oliver Jones have all departed in recent weeks. But here's how they line up tonight, the Bulls. 3 changes. Matt Yearman, Walter Scott and Jake Holman, who's been carrying a slight calf injury, drop out of the starting 11. In come Ivan Vujica, Liam Rose for his first start in 6 weeks, and Chris Economides, who makes just his 3rd start since arriving from Melbourne Victory. It's a home debut for Kevin Bowley. Fellow new arrivals Saifuddin Kawi and Peter Makrilos are on the bench, alongside Yanni Nicolaou, who stands by for his first action since December. Now 3 changes for Sydney FC as well. Zach De Jesus is replaced by Alex Grant, who makes his A-League debut for Sydney. Joel King shifts to right back to allow Ryan Grant and Alex Grant to partner in the centre of defence. Adrian Segicic and Jaden Kucharski both drop to the bench to facilitate the return of Douglas Costa and Patrick Klimala. Joshua Sotirio returns on the bench. Anas Wahim also a substitute despite a slight back injury this week. Corey Holman looking to line up against brother Jake at some stage this evening. Two teams lining up in the tunnel. Isuzu UTE tunnel cap.
Let's go, boys. Let's go.
Macarthur have taken just 7 points from a possible 21. Sydney, of course, have been distracted by the Asian Champions League 2 campaign. And as you can see, there is a trophy at stake tonight, the annual Charity Cup. And the Bulls wearing pink jerseys this evening in conjunction with the Sony Foundation of Australia, a charity aimed at improving the health and well-being of young Australians in need. Kick-off not too far away here in Campbelltown. Well, this is Sydney FC's last league match for a fortnight, as they again turn their focus towards continental success. They've got that 2-legged quarter-final in the Champions League 2 against John Book Motors, the first leg of which is on Thursday in Korea. So I want to sign off with a win tonight. Milos Stajovski has had a fair old baptism to the head coaching role, a betting scandal, an Australian Cup success, and the departure of not only key players this season, but also one of his assistants, Matt Smith, who left the club 2 weeks ago to pursue an overseas opportunity. There's our team of officials tonight, led by Adam Kersey, the referee, assisted by Kearney Robinson and Adam Powers. Lachlan Keevers is the 4th official, and Sean Evans is in VAR. Sydney FC having the team photo, all in sky blue this evening. And it's Grant and Grant at the heart of the defence for the first time. Tale knows his team needs to win to start climbing the table, especially away from home, where they haven't won since defeating Brisbane 3-2 back on the 1st of November last year. There's Kevin Bowley, 86 minutes on debut against the Wanderers in that 2-1 loss at Combank. Just the 4th Ivorian in the A-League after Adama Traore, Jonas Sally and Eugene Daddy. A couple of names from the past there. Alex Grant, of course, is well known to A-League fans. He last played in this competition, though, in August 2020 when he lined up for Perth against the Wanderers. And the boyhood Manchester United fan admitting that wearing sky blue is quite a mental adjustment for him. Travelling Cove, bringing the noise in favour of the visitors. Thankfully, it has cooled down a little bit as the sun has set. Very warm today in Sydney. Temperatures of well over 30 degrees. And good to see the Bulls all lined up in their paddock. Behind the goal, away to our right. They've become a bit of a feature at Macarthur home games this season. But make no mistake, it's a big game for both these teams. Macarthur with just 2 wins at home all season. And one of those was all the way back in round 1 against Perth Glory, when they flew out of the blocks. They've got to face the likes of Douglas Costa tonight. Sydney starting with almost all of their big guns. And this should be a fascinating 90 minutes ahead. And it could be a competitive 90 minutes ahead as well, Andy Harper. This is a fixture that has produced a red card in each of the last 6 meetings, so we might have a few more fireworks tonight.
Well, there was a bit of smoke haze around the stadium. Simon, good evening, by the way, in the lead up to kick-off, and I think that's indicative of the heat that's going to follow. Really spicy potential this game. Macarthur under most people's radars from the season start, and given the exit doors have been working and needed re-greasing with the players who've left, they've dropped even further off the radar, but I don't buy it necessarily. I think they're still well and truly in it. Huge game, this one.
There's a good steal by Luke Bratton to dispossess Douglas Costa early on. Keen to impress against the club, of course, where he spent 5 years. Very colourfully attired Philip Curto tonight. Harrison Devonish-Mears at the other end of the park either. Very bright attire for both goalkeepers. And Macarthur pretty in pink, but all for a good cause, of course. Steadied down by Kevin Bolly. Scooped up in the air by Liam Rose. Alex Grant with his first meaningful work as Sydney FC defender in the A-League. And Keely Adamson wins the Bulls a throw. He too, of course, up against one of his former clubs.
And doing really well. He's been outstanding this year. I'd say in the top collection of right fullbacks in the league. Doesn't get a lot of coverage, a lot of praise. Gets picked every week. He does the job every week, and he's really growing impressively, Keely Adamson.
Bulls growing impressively down the left here, thanks to that combination between Vujicic and Jakalic, who's in possession now. Slinging it cross fields. Work back through Liam Rose, who's looking for that run of Marin Jakalic. Just gets away from the winger, but applauds the intent. Liam Rose has had a fair stint of the season out with injury. Back in the midfield today.
A very nasty ankle injury. He's recovered well from that. If that would have counted, Jakalic got on the end of created a goal chance because he looked clearly offside, but otherwise it was a good flowing move early from Macarthur.
Who are without a win in their last 3 A-League matches. Is it too straightforward, Harps, to say it's the departures that are the main cause of that?
No, it's not. It's a very obvious conclusion, and of course you lose players of that quality and it is going to leave a hole, but I really think they were excellent against the Wanderers in losing. And the Wanderers had to be good to get out of trouble that day.
They made a decent start to this game, and they're on the attack again through Keely Adamson. Behind Grant up in the air, but not away yet. And Harrison Sawyer, the rather taller figure, if Harrison Sawyer was behind him. Just on Harrison Sawyer, completed his first 90 minutes in the A-League against the Wanderers last time out. Some 7 or 8 years after he first featured in the competition.
And that's a capital P for perseverance. And well done to him. And he was a handful in that Wanderers game. Yes, there were a couple of chances of which he might have made more. But he got onto one header tellingly, and he forced quite literally a world-class save from Lawrence Thomas. That goes in, the game swings completely. Lawrence Thomas was huge at that moment. And I think Harrison Sawyer has got goals in him. Depends on how quickly he can settle after that full 90 minutes and feel like he belongs.
Oh, Joe Lolly was really cleaned up there by Liam Rose. Totally mistimed and left the Englishman absolutely poleaxed. And he's the game's first booking. Dear, didn't miss that one, did he?
No, and it's a yellow card, but it is just as well that Liam Rose had not extended the legs. That would have been a red card and more ugly. And as it is, Joe Lolly's pretty uncomfortable. Committed for the ball was Rose, but late. That's certainly a reckless challenge worthy of the yellow card. It's only of some solace for Joe Lolly. He looks very, very uncomfortable.
Limping away. Fourth yellow card of the season, despite those absences for Liam Rose. And Tully a little concerned that the impact he hopes his English import will have might be stymied by that challenge. We shall see. Free kick for Sydney, and Douglas Costa out for Lolly, who looks to be moving more freely now. Looking to hit the byline and find the angle for the cross, but quite wrapped his boot around it.
That's a really nice variation from the free kick. Had a bit of zing on it too. The pass from Costa, Lolly's first touch not up to it. Pass had a little bobble, but still, you need to be able to nail that. And the element of surprise was with Sydney there. It's recovering the ground and forcing that extra pressure on Joe Lolly. He couldn't navigate the angle properly.
Yellow jersey with orange sleeves, tangerine shorts and orange socks. That's quite the get-up from Philip Curto. Here's Klimala. Losing out to Kevin Volley. Poland against the Ivory Coast, the cosmopolitan nature of the Isuzu UTE A-League men's competition. Curto's kit matching the sunset in the southwest of Sydney.
Nice pickup. It's serious. I mean, it was searingly hot when we got here, 35, 36 degrees. Cooled off appreciably, and it is now a completely gorgeous evening here in Campbelltown, reflected totally by that magnificent sunset.
And you're right about the smoke, Harps, which only sort of hit the nostrils an hour or so pre-kickoff, whether they're doing some back burning. Quite sure. Sydney on the attack through Courtney Perkins. Lolly. Nice little adjustment by Caceres, and Lolly found the angle for the shot.
Wasn't that sweet? Caceres, a very, very subtle touch to link up with Lolly. Ball bobbled as he shoots. Look at this from Caceres here. Beautiful. And Rose, who's been really diligent in midfield to start this match, but he didn't see it and couldn't adjust. Unfortunately for Sydney, nor could Joe Lolly as that ball bobbled.
Has all the makings of a really good open contest, this one. And we're hitting that point of the season, Harps, where games just starting to run out, and where 1 point really isn't enough if you're outside the six. Got to start making your run. It makes for a very enjoyable watch for the neutral. Here's Kamijo. Consecutive starts in the alley for the first time. He's done really well as well, and Klimala's shots, and the ball's felt that the pole might have been offside. Play allowed to continue.
Probably was. The match officials conferring quickly, and it's a play on will do. It's virtually an advantage. Nice work from Kamijo, keeping, he's clearly offside there. It's a beautifully instinctive pass from the young Sydney player. Keeping Holman on the bench, who's been a staple part of the Sydney cause so far.
So I think he was perhaps held a little bit by Ryan Grant. Really good anticipation by Kevin Bolly to get Macarthur moving forward again. Great tempo to the game. Courtney Perkins held up by Adamson. A little bit of verbals afterwards as well.
Well, this is a good sign for me. It's really keen for the time when Chris Economides arrives at or close to his peak. And that was a really confident touch. And a heavy challenge to stop the counter-attack from Keely Adamson. But that was positive from Chris Economides.
Now on Camijo. Brown wanted to take the free kick quickly. Kersey not quite ready, saying that the ball was travelling. Costa. Talley, of course, having to manage his squad through the two different competitions. Ryan Grant continuing as a central defender, where he's been for the best part of the last 3 months now. Lolly riding the challenge of Bratton. Intervention by Lolly once again. It's 2 or 3 times. The Ivorians' reading of the game has been really good.
Yeah, great pick-up. Really, really excellent pick-up. And people perhaps wanting to sign the death certificate for the season for Macarthur are perhaps not taking into account the quality that they still have and have added with Bolly.
Slipped through by Bratton for Buildup. As always, favouring Ryan Grant. Costa. Oh, it was the right idea, wasn't it? And it nearly sneaked through. Credit to Thomas Lyle-Buskok.
And I think, you know, if you can question a great player, I think he might have taken one touch too early there, Costa. He saw it. He saw Klamala angling for the run. He saw the space. He just took that extra touch.
Brett to go cross fields. Beautiful pass that was. Yakalish, tempting delivery. Wouldn't stick though for Sawyer, and now the offside flag comes to Sydney's rescue anyway. Luke Bratton, that was a super release. 35 next week he is. Still got it?
Yeah, he certainly has. I mean, for some time he's been the best passer of the football in the competition. And he showed it then in spades.
Hand on the shoulder of Leo Senna by Harrison Sawyer. It's the 64th foul this season suffered by Leo Senna. He's got to be up there, perhaps as the most foul player in the competition. Here he is on the ball, the Brazilian. Lolly. Hustled out of it by Vujica. Nice footwork by Yakalish. All the way back by Ryan Grant.
Very good start for Ivan Vujica, left fullback for Macarthur this evening. He's up against the real heavyweights in an attacking sense in Sydney, and particularly Joe Lolly. He's matched it so far.
King, very much left-footed, but operating on the right again today. Maybe that's the end result. Just on Sydney's away record, Harps, I mentioned the fact that they haven't won away from home since that 3-2 win against Brisbane back on the 1st of November. It's not that their away record is poor by any stretch. They've only lost 3 times. The other 4 having ended in draws, but Only Brisbane and Perth have won fewer games on the road this season in the A-League. It's maybe one of the reasons why they're outside the top six.
Well, exactly, Simon. But then you look at them, they haven't been unbeatable at home either, which the combination of the two, of course, is a reflection of the league position and the frustration that this really impressive collection of players haven't quite got it together as consistently as they should. Still time for that, of course. But tonight, for both teams, is just so important considering the run-in and the teams gathered in front of them.
Costa. There's a little tangle of legs, but Klimala's away from Bolly. And Thomas Lyle-Buskok comes to the Bulls' rescue. Retrieved, though, by Lolly. 3 in the middle for Sydney. Here's Douglas Costa, top of the box. And way off the mark with that one.
Yeah. Well pressured by Luke Bratton. The space was made, but Luke Bratton reacted quickly. Here goes Klimala. Is that a trip or a coming together, as they say? Wonder how that would have held up on review if it went that far. Lolly cutting in and blasting the ball.
That's the 2 A-League goals so far for Douglas Costa, both against Adelaide, and that 3-3 draw away from home. By the way, we mentioned that foul count for Leo Senna. 64 fouls against the Brazilian. The next highest in the league is Luke Bratton with 35. So it's quite a big margin.
I guess the obvious question, Simon, is where did Valère Germain sit on that table?
Not as high as Senna, by all accounts. But I understand the inputs. Here come the Bulls. And nobody gambling. Chris Economides with the cross.
Well, Caceres beaten. Just look at the run of Harrison Sawyer here. And I'm not quite sure that he actually commits either way. To burst towards the near post, it angled towards the near post, but it needed just a little less of an angle, and I think he bounces that ball into the goal.
Ritz's cross does find Sawyer this time. Economides will retrieve. There's a scramble for the ball at the near post, and the upshot is Macarthur corner.
Oh, that was good. Bit of scrapping from Harrison Sawyer to turn not much into a corner. He's wriggling around down the right-hand side. Is been difficult to contain so far. Again, more positive signs for Macarthur, who talk about all the players who are going. He's virtually a new signing. I mean, he hasn't featured this season until the last few games off the bench.
Whole crowd of players in front of Devonish Mears. Corner from Yakalish really tests the Sydney FC defence. Maybe this cross will. Silva reacts quickest. Comfortably defended by Ryan Grant. Leo Senna's good at that.
65.
Let's quickly go down to Tristan McManus. Tris.
Hello guys, what a great atmosphere here today. It's like a great sea of blue and pink. It's like the most aggressive baby shower I've ever been to. But the atmosphere, it's really, really great today. Big shout out to SIP Energy. Usually you'd see the sponsor at the front of the Macarthur shirt. It's at the back today, making room for the Sony Foundation Australia. The families and the children that are benefiting from the work that the Sony Foundation doing are behind me here. They're having such a great time. They're living, they're breathing, everything that's happening. It really is. But I have to talk to the away support. It hasn't been too far to come, but they've come, and they've come in numbers. It's going to be a great game. It's a Sydney derby. We're going to get one today.
Thanks, Tristan. Joe Lolly off in pursuit of this one, and he's done really well to reel it in and link up with Douglas Costa. Took the heel of Klimala, and Wirt puts his boot through it. Sawyer trying to pull things up for Macarthur. That's Grant nipping in. Caceres. Senna. Costa. Scored that brilliant goal against Bangkok United in the Champions League 2. Joel King offside. A little bit careless by the Sky Blues. And I guess the question, given that we're seeing Douglas Costa starting tonight, does that suggest to you that he may play more of a cameo role in the first leg in the Champions League 2 quarter-final?
No, not necessarily, Simon. I think there's enough time between now and Thursday. What it shows to me is that, and he played almost the full 120 in those very difficult conditions. What it looks to me is they're confident they've got him back and injury-free, which is just is massive news, not just for the club, but for all fans of the competition who watch and enjoy him. He's been fantastic in the bits we've seen. Just imagine if he gets some consistent run of games together, how much he's going to impact the football game and entertain people.
So a little bit of skill by Joe Lolly, but also come away with the ball. Ely Adamson. Leely's Courtney Perkins right on his back. Leely's has managed to slip away down the right briefly. Now Camijo. Ball breaks the way of Senna. Sydney will go forwards through Caceres. It's Courtney Perkins hugging the touchline. Costa beyond him, but it's just got away from the Brazilian. And Joe Lolly's header is in the back of the net, but I think it's pretty clear that the ball had already gone out of play by the time that Douglas Costa crossed the ball in for the Englishman. VAR will check, of course.
Well, Costa's been busy early, and that's gone out. That's the problem. But as far as a dry run's concerned, it was a beautiful header from Joe Lolly.
VAR confirms that goal does not stand. Tally's team are 5 games unbeaten now in all competitions. 3 of those in the A-League. Last 2 A-League matches have ended all square against the Wanderers in the derby and away to Perth. Costa dropping deep to set up the play. Ryan Grant. Lolly up to Senna. Nice release for Courtney Perkins. Costa. Opens up the space here for Anthony Caceres. He's forced to turn back out by his former teammate, Luke Bratton. Caceres once again. Swings in the cross. Off the head of Leah Rose. Alex Grant. Back for Lolly and now Senna. Caceres finding that little pocket of space again. And Klamala playing off the shoulder of Kevin Volley pretty well. Firing wide.
Yeah, good run. Well defended by Volley. He's shown his quality in the bits we've seen since he arrived. Nice ball over the top from Caceres. Well-timed run, nice angle, and really worth a go. First time hooking the volley, hopefully towards goal. Couldn't quite control it, but that was really worth a go, and it was good lead-up play from Sydney.
Sydney have edged in front in terms of the possession stakes and have certainly created the vast majority of the opportunities. Nothing to show for it as yet. A bit of room here on the right for Keely Adamson. Sawyer wanted the ball played in early and he got it. Well marshalled by Ryan Grant.
He's not getting any change out of Ryan Grant, is he? Harrison Sawyer. He knows, no pun intended, the size of the task here. Ryan Grant, and every time the ball in the vicinity. He's really steeled to up the effort for that particular contest against Harrison Sawyer.
Quite sure what that was from Kevin Bolly. He's the nephew of, this one for the older TV viewers, Basil Bolly, former French international, who very famously many years ago headbutted Stuart Pearce. Brave man. Stretch to reel that one in from his goalkeeper Philip Curto towards Harrison Sawyer. No real control on that from Joel King. Liam Rose on the ball. Now Danny De Silva. Economides. Adamson. And Economides has continued the run. Macarthur could be in here. The pass was behind De Silva. Certainly not out of the woods just yet. Courtney Perkins earns a throw and relieves that bit of pressure. Courtney Perkins told to take no further liberties from the throw-in. Sydney making incremental progress up the left-hand touchline. Earlier today, 2 games that ended in stalemates. Cracking game in Auckland. Auckland 4, Adelaide United 4. The gap at the top, 8 points. And then the earlier game, Brisbane Roar 1, Melbourne Victory 1. Casey Boss with a 97th minute equaliser for Victory. Challenge from Kevin Bolly. Made a very good start to his home debut.
Yeah, that thrilling draw in Auckland. Adelaide and Auckland have had some games this year, amazing. And it does put the champagne on ice for the league. 8 points, but a game in hand on second place. Really just another win, you'd reckon, before they're seriously home. But what an amazing game that was.
Amazing first season they've had offside here against the Bulls.
And Simon, a shout out to Western United. Whilst everyone's been thrilled by the debut season of Auckland, I don't defy anyone to suggest they had Western picked at second at this late stage of the season.
Yep, I certainly didn't.
And looking very, very good for it too.
3-1 winners over the Mariners yesterday. Senna threaded it through nicely for Courtney Perkins, who just showed a little too much of it to Keely Adamson. Economides. Mijo trying to close down Adamson. A little short, that pass from Bratton. Sarah's very nearly nipped in. And Macarthur thought there was a foul on Liam Rose. There certainly is on Keely Adamson.
Yeah. foxed his old mate, Luke Bratton, to give him the chance to win the ball back, but Adamson did well to protect it. Drew the foul from Caceres. A rare mistake from Keely. Adamson got his feet completely mixed up there. Basically, it's been Sydney's opening period, half an hour. They've had most of the ball, and they've had most of that ball inside Auckland's half of the field. Macarthur's half of the field.
On the back heel by Costa. And again, great anticipation from Bolly.
But ultimately, Simon, as you just alluded, have defended well enough to see off the possession threat that Sydney have posed.
Bolly's intervention gives Douglas Costa the chance to try and pick out a teammate from the corner. This is an interesting arrangement of players. A whole cluster on the left-hand side of the box. Now they scatter. Costa delivers. And it's Klimala on the turn. Snatched it a little bit.
Yeah. Well, the buses were all in the depot, and then the bell rings and they all take their different routes. But no one can actually pick up clean possession. But I got to say, I reckon a white hot and an in-form Patrick Klimala makes more of that on the turn. I don't think he's in-form or white hot at the moment.
Costa, Bolly, Senna. Joel King is in a good position here for Costa if you need to. Costa goes for the cross. Oh, what a save from Curto to deny Klimala because he was going the wrong way. Had to readjust oh so quickly. And it's behind for a corner.
Well, what about the disguise from Costa firstly? He ignored the very obvious pass to Joel King. He carried the ball further and then whipped in that mysterious no-look effort. This is brilliant from Costa. And then a bipolar piece of action. Pole to pole. Klimala. What a great save by Curto.
Well, he's made more saves than any other goalkeeper in the league. He's one of the league's best. Had to prove it there. Costa starting to really influence proceedings. Caceres for Senna. Cue it up here for Sydney, and Ryan Grant fires over the top. And another one goes begging for the Sky Blues.
Great chance, isn't it, Simon? From Costa to Caceres to Senna. A beautiful combination. It's a decent ball in. Dangerous enough for possession to fall in a very handy position to Ryan Grant. Doesn't score a lot of goals, but has scored some big goals in his career. Championship goals indeed for Sydney. But he couldn't quite muster the technique then.
More live football action coming your way on 10 Bold later tonight, 10:30 p.m. Eastern. The young Socceroos go in search of a trophy as they play the final of the AFC Under-20 Asian Cup against Saudi Arabia. Great achievement already by Trevor Morgan's young Chargers to qualify for the FIFA Under-20 World Cup. But wouldn't it be great, Harps, if they could lift the trophy too?
Be amazing. I mean, beating Japan, men's, women's, any level, I think is a massive achievement. But to win 5 games in a tournament, I can't think an Aussie team's ever done that at any level.
And, both the teams on show tonight, they've got representatives away with the young Socceroos. 4 from the Bulls, plus Thiago Quintal from Sydney. He's going to join up with the Sky Blues in Korea. And that game against Jeonbuk on Thursday. Here tonight, it's been a case of everything but the goal, really, for Sydney FC. Macarthur looking to build something down the left here through Vujitsa. Just wanted to throw thrown into frustration for the home fans when they turn back the balls. It's been tough going for Milošević's team in this first half.
They played a lot without the ball, but defended very, very well.
No win in the last 3 for the Bulls. 4 would be their longest run of the season without victory if they were to draw or lose here tonight. They've got 2 pretty tough road trips to come as well, the Bulls. Melbourne City away and then a trip to Coopers to face Adelaide. Sydney have that fortnight off for their Champions League 2 commitments before Wellington come calling to Allianz. Now here's Danny De Silva going through the middle. And he had Sawyer alongside, but it was a good challenge from Camijo.
Oh, what a lovely ball through from Yakulish. De Silva never really looked that convinced he was either going to make the incursion himself or be able to link up with a teammate. Great intervention from Camijo.
Clear foul despite the protests of Douglas Costa. If you've played at a World Cup for Brazil, that's still a foul. Vujica. Yakulish through the legs of Joel King. Kicked it away from Lolly. This is good build-up play. Yakulish. He did the hard part. Couldn't find the cross.
A disappointing end. A very enterprising play. A nutmeg on Joel King. And Vujica again, he's been really good today, I think. Vujica, he joins in the attack, just settles, realigns things, and then feeds Yakulish. His first touch is too heavy. Still a makeable cross. He couldn't get his foot adequately around the ball.
Senna slamming on the brakes. A bit of acceleration. And the pass to find Douglas Costa. Kamala drifted offside. But Senna. Some intelligent ball to pick out Courtney Perkins. Beyond him is Caceres. Scrap just on his heels for a moment, but did well to readjust. Major losing out to Sawyer. Steadied down by De Silva. Or Scott. It's Costa with no pressure. To show us a little glimpse of his undoubted abilities. Camijo. Very assured in that defensive midfield role. Costa. Lovely little feint to take him away from the defender. Here's Lolly. Just lacked the power.
Well, Lolly was closing Lolly down, but a beautiful sharp turn. Through for Lolly. His first touch is adequate. Lolly's positioning was too much for him. Still, it's a shot on target. Curto needed to be there in the Macarthur goal.
Is the concern football from Tale that his team has played pretty well, but nothing to show for it yet. Another one gets away, this time from Patrick Klimala. And we know that they've had defensive issues throughout the campaign, Sydney FC. With the Has come back to bite them. Yakulish. Got a space here for Danny De Silva. He's good to go down the right. Oh, he left it short of Luke Bratton. Sarah's just about did enough. It's a poor foul. Bratton on Leo Senna. Not too keen on the hand of friendship from the man who fouled him.
66. We need a ticker on the screen. Unfortunate for Macarthur there. That was a rare bit of attacking an opportunity for them.
That's a good ball by Lolly. Kamala chases it down. Lolly arriving looking for the return, which didn't come his way. Here's Luke Bratton. Yakulish really showed too much of it to Douglas Costa. Trying to wrestle him out of the way. There's a little bit of afters between Yakulish, who does have a bit of a short fuse, and Patrick Klimala is not slow to get involved either. It was all something and nothing really, the foul on Costa by Yakulish, but the afters might draw the attention in terms of cards from referee Adam Kersey. Tempers just frayed. As Klimala came across, well, I don't think Klimala needs to be doing that.
No, but you know, you do see this from time to time, and
now Klimala and Bratton involved in a little bit of a war of words.
they're all going into to back up their mates. Klimala may be trying to get a bit more out of himself by stepping in on behalf of Douglas Costa as he saw it.
Let's keep an eye on that little feud. Bratton was really there to try and play peacemaker to start off with. Well, we normally get a bit of spice between these two, as mentioned. The last 6 fixtures produce a red card.
Indeed, anticipated it. Klimala has made some good runs. He's had some good sides of goal. Still goalless tonight. It'll be frustrating him.
Another chance in the offing here, perhaps. Taken short between the two Brazilians. Costa angles it out towards Caceres. Lolly back through Senna. It's Costa again. Nobody around him. He's going to have a go here, Douglas Costa. Well, he's perfectly capable of scoring from that range. Not on that occasion.
Yeah, he's tried to open up for a shot at goal, never quite come so far in the match, and it's a bit overdue, to be honest. He hasn't that. It's not just a wand. He just casts some magical spells with that left foot, but he has the capacity to hit it like a hammer as well. Just couldn't direct that one.
There we go, 13 shots Sydney have had so far in this first half, just the 2 for the Bulls. Just 3 of those have been on target.
And only one of those has required
Yep.
any special work from Philip Curto.
Special it was too, that save, by the way. Sydney have largely blazed away over the crossbar. Here's Costa, again finding space. Stretched by Bolly, but can only divert it in the direction of Joe Lolly. And looking for Courtney Perkins, who is arriving at the back post. One back by Camijo. Sydney continue to make most of the running. Costa again. He's been everywhere in this first half. Whips it across, Klimala attacks it. Well defended again by Kevin Bolly. King. Costa. Perkins. Bolly's there again.
Brilliant. He's battering away. Is Klimala working really hard. Bolly has been really good from Macarthur. Uscock too, flashy so far from Tommy Uscock, but you look at those stats, possession, shots, etc. But the central defence, in fact the back four for Macarthur has been very, very good today. The team as a unit has defended well too.
Costa once again. Bolly with the little touch, but Klimala couldn't read it. Look at Kevin Bolly's CV. Most recently with a club called K-Bar in Iran. Interesting career. Spells in Romania, Turkey, China. One or two other places besides. He's looked the goods for the Bulls so far this evening. To be fair to him, he did win 6 championships in Romania during his days with Cluj. It's a foul by Camijo and a yellow card for the youngster.
Angry that it was he who hit a short pass which turned things over for Macarthur. Here he is just stretching in there on Sawyer, and of course the ref with no option. Otherwise he's been going very, very well, Camijo.
A rare chance for the Bulls to throw some numbers forward. Adamson's cross. Handed away by Sydney. Costa claiming for a handball. And succeeding. And that is half-time. Fascinating first 45 minutes in which Sydney generally have had the upper hand and have forced double figures in terms of shots, but really only one proper test of Philip Curto. That came off Patrick Klimala. Nothing too much from the Bulls at the other end, and will Sydney live to rue those missed chances in the second half? But despite in this one as well, it's a good watch. And at half-time, it's goalless. Macarthur 0, Sydney FC 0. We're off to a break ourselves. On the other side of it, join Tara Rushton as we run the rule over what we've seen in the first 45. Stay with us.
Hello, guys. Yes, I'm here with the guys from Sony Foundation. Again, all the proceeds tonight go to... Sarah, tell us what all the proceeds go to.
It goes towards our holiday camp programs for children with disability.
Which is really so important. The Sony Foundation have been working with the Macarthur Bulls for the last 4 years. This is the second season of the Charity Cup. Ali, just tell us what this means to the families and the kids. They're having such a great night tonight.
It's so special. Kiki gets to have the time of her life at a camp that's inclusive and supportive, and she doesn't miss us one bit. We feel very, very lucky to be a part of the Sony Foundation.
Oh, fantastic. I promised everyone they can make as much noise as they can. So who's going to win tonight? Back to you guys.
The man on the overlap. Yo, Toure! The young Socceroos strike. Musa Toure cuts it back. Pearman. It's in for two. Jalen Pearman doubles Australia's advantage. The young Socceroos, they are going to the AFC Under-20 Asian Cup final.
This year's Alex Tobin Medal is brought to you by Isuzu UTE. The winner of the prestigious award will win their choice of a brand new top-of-the-range Isuzu D-Max or 7-seat MUX. Plus, the Isuzu UTE Alex Tobin medalist will nominate a junior football club to win $10,000. Make sure you're watching this season's grand final when the winning player and club will be revealed.
All set to go for the second half here in Campbelltown on a rather sultry evening in Sydney's southwest. That little stoush between Patrick Klimala and Marion Yakulish, with Luke Bratton getting involved as well. Typical of the approach of both teams in the first 45. High stakes, of course. Games running out. Both teams outside the top six. Sydney with almost all of the opportunities in the opening 45. The Bulls yet to register a single shot on target. Maybe that's about to change. Talking of changes, none made by either coach in terms of personnel at the break. And off we go for a 45-minute half that could be pivotal to both teams' hopes of making the finals this season, Andy Harper.
Yeah, that situation, like the scoreline, hasn't changed since kickoff. Sydney played some great stuff, just didn't have the cutting edge, and that cutting edge was dulled somewhat because of the excellent central defending, particularly of Bolly for Macarthur. And post all those players who've left in the transfer window, you can talk about shots at goals, etc., goal scorers, but actually watching that first half, what they really missed was the quick counter-attack, off which Jed Drew fed and then delivered for the team. And I guess if you're looking for a cut and paste, based on what we've seen so far this season, that's got to be Chris Economides' job.
Also missing their top scorer, of course, Valère Germain, who's departed for pastures new. Luke Bratton apologising for the challenge on Caceres, which was rather nasty. Caught him on the ankle.
Yeah, right down the heel.
They know each other pretty well, of course, from their days together at Sydney.
I don't think Anthony Caceres is terribly impressed with that.
Climb by Alex Grant. Ball will break here for Courtney Perkins. Caceres. And the pattern of the game from the first half continuing at the start of the second. Sydney FC with territorial dominance. Macarthur just lacking a little bit of spark. Here's Douglas Costa attempting to provide some for Sydney. Major square ball is picked up though by Chris Economides, and now Healy Adamson looking to make progress. Sydney believing that, as you can hear from Courtney Perkins, they thought the ball was out.
Never ceases to amaze how hotly the contest runs for a throw-in.
Won't be long before VAR gets involved. I think I'm only half joking. Here goes Ivan Vujica. Sawyer waiting in the middle. Yakulic with the cross, and Devonish Mears was flattered into pretty heavily by the muscular figure of Harrison Sawyer. And it's a free kick for Sydney.
That's more like it from Macarthur. Give Harrison something to attack, and Yakulic whips it in. It's got some nice curl.
He's entitled to go for that.
Look, he is, Simon, but any contact on the keeper inside the 6-yard box is almost immediately going to be called up.
Yep.
If that's a yard outside, I think it's fair play, probably still a foul. The point is, if you're Harrison Sawyer, inside the 6-yard box, you probably concede the first one just to put a bit of thinking time into the goalkeeper for the next one.
Well, it's certainly more promising for the Bulls. They found creating chances pretty difficult. Whistle was blown for a foul this time on Bratton. There was also one on Rose subsequently. There's a fair bit going on out there. Economides. Adamson. It's a good run by Economides. He's got beyond Caceres, looking for the cutback, but Camijo was really well positioned. Been impressed with the youngster. Saw him make his senior debut against Kaya in the Champions League 2. He was very good that night. Set up a goal as well for the now parted Patrick Wood. Talking of which, pity he's not still playing for Sydney. We could have had the Battle of Bollywood tonight.
How much were you spewing? And that opportunity didn't avail itself.
Here's Costa. Oh, he's clearly dragged that. That's going to be a card for Ivan Vujica.
Well, probably worthwhile from Vujica because he's either just about to split the defence or shoot. And there was no one else coming to stop the advance of Douglas Costa. Maybe defenders are getting a bit gun-shy. I mean, he's been fabulous tonight. It's tantalising the Macarthur players. Often, Simon, you know, there's been lots of great players, but I often wondered what it would have been like in the 60s and 70s watching Garincha play, when he used to stand up defenders, mesmerise them, and from a standing start, leave them behind on the ground while he did his thing. I think Douglas Costa is almost the closest we've had, not just by nationality, but by type, to watch and enjoy that type of trickery.
Let's see if he's still about to exact punishment here for the Bulls. It is Costa. Oh, it's a great save. Philip Curto. That is a fantastic stop, because that was angling into the top corner off the boot of Douglas Costa.
Well, on the Harvey Norman replay, it takes a little deflection, and this is an unbelievable save from Philip Curto.
Corner already taken. Back with Costa. He'll go again, and Curto called into action once more. Not quite as spectacular this time, just helping it on its way, volleyball style.
Exactly right. Look at the curl on this. And he flicks the switch to volleyball. Diving to dig the ball out for another corner.
5 stops now made by Curto. Costa's corner angled to the top of the box. For Caceres, back with the Brazilian, who's tormenting the Bulls' defence. Still Douglas Costa, and this time he grazes the crossbar. Still there for Sydney. Ryan Grant to set it up, Klimala, and Curto once again. He's virtually taking them on his own, Philip Curto. Fantastic goalkeeping, but he needed the help of the crossbar.
Well, unbelievable goalkeeping, unbelievable play from Costa. It's unbelievable, except we've seen it. We've just missed the little shift of gears, and then we get the right foot. Look at how he beats two. He's got the taste for it tonight, Douglas.
Well, Ufuk must be wondering what more his team has to do to get their noses in front. Just to your point, comparing Douglas Costa with Gorincha, it's a fair comparison. And again, it underlines that if you get the right marquee player, boy, they can light up the league. So foul by Luke Bratton, who's got to be perhaps getting close to a yellow card.
The first one on Caceres was sort of nasty. Accidental, but still nasty. Look at this double. It looks beautiful. Well, poor old Danny De Silva. Where do I go with that? Bratton does all he can. The left foot's good. The right foot on this occasion. And Curto, who was brilliant to stop the free kick, couldn't get close to that one, but possibly had it covered. Look at this. He sniffs it tonight, Douglas.
Leaving the free kick to his compatriot, Leo Sella this time. Back with Costa. Little nonchalant jab central for Camijo, whose shot is charged down by Vujica. Breaks here for Ryan Grant. Again, it's all Sydney. Camijo. Ryan Grant again. The best cross this time. Blocked by Bolly. And Macarthur just penned in. Maybe that's why Milošević's going to go to his bench the next break in play. Meantime, it's back with Dougie. Lolly just got away from him. Well, Scott to carry it forward. Bringing Keely Adamson into play. And it goes for a Sydney throw. And this will be the signal for a double change for the Bulls. Danny De Silva, who's struggled really to get involved in the game, to be replaced by Jake Holman, who's carrying that slight calf problem. And it's also the end of the section for Harrison Sawyer, who's still waiting for that first A-League goal. Didn't get an awful lot of service tonight. And it is a home debut for Saifuddin Kawi, the 29-year-old, 27 times capped Tunisian international. Two good changes to be able to make off the bench for Milošević. But they're defending again. It's Joe Lolly. Lolly again, just threw his body in the way. Jakalic steaming forward. Threading it through for Cowie. Bulls perhaps with a new lease of life. Seen out by Senna for now. Bratton jabs it wide for Holman. Cross charge down. Nodded forward for Sydney by Klamala. Bolly strong again in the challenge. Picked up by Holman. Bit strong that one was.
This is a rare moment for Macarthur. It's taken them 10 minutes, by my reckoning, to get up this end of the field and have possession of the ball, and they're looking quite threatening too.
Good space here for Adamson. It's Courtney Perkins preventing the corner. It's not going to be ruled as a pass back because I'm pretty sure that's not where Courtney Perkins intended his clearance to go.
Well, it's a great bit of work from Courtney Perkins just to save the corner. Gets out of trouble. And Macarthur so far out of trouble.
Maybe how much signs of life in the Bulls off the bench.
They got that chance and they looked good when they had that one chance to play with the ball. 10 minutes it's taken them. And Sydney have been so dominant. Utterly mesmeric impact on the game from Douglas Costa.
Fontalo is going to go to his bench shortly as well. Rory Holman and Adrian Segicic, the super sub, are being readied. I'm sure he likes that nickname, to be honest. No, back in the day, the original David Fairclough didn't. Slipped through by Lolly. Klimala! Finally! Sydney will feel they have earned that opening goal. And it's Patrick Klimala who scores past his compatriot Philip Curto to notch his 8th goal of the season. They've had so many chances and finally they've made one pay.
Well, unbelievable pressure building for Sydney. And on the Harvey Norman replay, lovely receipt by Joe Lolly. Great run off the ball. Tommy Uscock can't stop. Patrick Klimala, the pole, who beats the pole at the first pole for the opening goal of the game. And it's a very good one. Very, very good one. Lolly turns beautifully. Excellent weight on the pass. And Klimala pounces.
And nothing Philip Curto could do about that one as he runs off to celebrate with the Sydney FC fans. There he is, very much in the discussion for the Golden Boot race, currently led by Noah Botic. And Sydney FC have made just the one change on the back of that goal. We're told that Patrick Klimala was about to be substituted in favour of Adrian Segicic, but that's been put on hold. Corey Holman is on in place of Wataru Kamijo, now joining his brother Jake, playing for the Bulls on the field. And you can't really say that Sydney FC have not earned that lead.
No, not at all. Not at all. And I guess in the context of what Macarthur have had to see off, that they defended so well and then had that one attack and possession sequence in the Sydney half, which looked actually very threatening, to then concede so soon after that is disappointing for them, but clearly, very clearly on the balance of play. Sydney at least the goal clear. Second half, 3 shots on target. They were in the teens in the first half for shots, but not many on target. That's been the big adjustment for Sydney. They've actually threatened and tested and challenged Philip Curto, who up until the Klimala effort was certainly up to it, spectacularly so.
Perkins standing forward here, but well shackled by Adamson. Sliding challenge by Uscock will give possession back for Sydney. Caceres into a bit of a cul-de-sac. Would have been a corner, still might be. In the end, it's just a throw for Sydney. The final half an hour, and the Bulls are still to register a shot on target. You think back to the earlier part of the campaign when there was so free scoring in many games. It's hard not to draw the link between some of the departures and their lack of potency up top today. Side flag against Sydney FC.
But still, Sydney have been vulnerable from dominant positions before. It's the barest of leads, despite the dominance of their play. So Macarthur still well and truly in it. Back to that completely exciting match at Allianz Stadium earlier in the season. Marriott Piol scored that overhead kick. Yakulish scored late, but that was a thrilling encounter. Macarthur against the odds in some senses that day, so they can do it.
Certainly got players that can score goals at A-League level, there's no doubt about that. Here's one of them, Jake Holman. When you lose Jaman, Drew, Peel, 20 goals between them in all competitions this season, has to have an impact. Here's Joe Lolly. Sydney looking for the buffer of a second goal. Could be Perkins managing to get the right side momentarily of Saifuddin Kawi, but good strength shown by the Tunisian. It's a good touch by Economides. He's got two defenders to deal with. Tidied up by Ryan Grant. Kevin Schmeers. Give it the big heave-ho. Yet to be called into action this evening. In a meaningful sense, of course. "19 shots Sydney have mustered to just 2 from the home side."
Yeah, well, when they've got all their guns, and Wakim hasn't played yet, Segacic looks like he's ready to come on. I mean, they've got so much firepower, it's eye-watering, actually.
Don't forget, Wahim is on the bench as well. He might not be risked tonight because he's got that little back niggle. Really keeping him in cotton wool for the trip to Korea during the week. Joel King. Oh, that's a lovely ball by King. And another excellent stop by Philip Curto, this time to deny Joe Lolly. What a ball from Joel King, with his weaker right foot too.
Well, it's a lovely spread of the pass, and Joel King, wonderful connection. Joe Lolly thinks he's done enough. I mean, there's not many players in the world in that situation with that contact don't think they've scored. But somehow Curto reads, and it's unbelievable agility from Philip Curto. What a goalkeeper he is.
He was A-League Goalkeeper of the Year back in 18-19. He might be in that conversation again this season. Certainly getting plenty of work tonight. Costa. He's tested him on more than one occasion. What a game he's having, the Brazilian. Here he is again. Whipping in the cross, in fact. I think it was a cross. Might have just sneaked in the top corner, but Curto equal to it again.
Yeah, wrong angle. I think you're right. That was for service, for eating.
And Sydney in front for the 9th time this season. Scoring the opening goal, the previous 8, they've won 7 and drawn 1. Normally pretty solid when they get their noses in front, but let's see. Up in the air by Courtney Perkins. Misread by Alex Grant. Perkins sorts things out. Of Corey Holman. Costa, I'll tell you what, if that comes off, that's just brilliant.
And it was through too.
This Saifuddin Kawi. Might open up for the balls. Joel King ensures it doesn't. Back in the mix by Kevin Bolly is Saifuddin Kawi. Corey Holman just holding him at bay for the moment. Yakalish. Top of the box is Bratton. For Holman. Now Vujica can put in a decent cross, Ivan Vujica. Here is that change now for Sydney FC, and it is the goal scorer, Patrick Klimala, who will be replaced. Adam Kersey just making sure he doesn't take too much time in wandering off. Adrian Segacic to come on. Here's his goal, which divides the teams.
That's a great finish. And it needed to be. To get past Philip Curto, just the slightest of gaps open on that near post. Been excellent otherwise. Curto in goal, and Klimala gets his goal. The striker's currency.
Oh, Well, Klimala has 11 for the season now. Adrian Segicic is now the club's top scorer in all competitions with 12 in 24 matches. Quite a few of those in Champions League 2 as well, of course. This is what it would mean to the league table if it were to remain this way. Sydney FC would return to the top 6, point clear of the Wanderers, who are in action tomorrow at home to Perth Glory. And the Bulls would remain in 8th. They were as high as 2nd earlier on this season. Corey Holman. With time. There was just a little nudge there. Luke Bratton. And another.
Luke Bratton making a late bid to catch up to Leo Senna.
Woodcock, a heavy touch. That was a strong challenge, but a fair one. Prevent Douglas Costa from getting on the ball, which could have been really problematic for the Bulls.
But he gets the tackle wrong, it would have been problematic for Tommy Uscock as well. But he was totally committed, needed to be appreciated that he'd gone in strongly, and Douglas Costa acknowledged that acknowledgement.
Well, the Bulls thought they had a corner there, but goal kick is the verdict. There's that challenge from Uscock. Yeah, it's strong, but it's fair.
Yeah. Costa taking evasive action.
Now, Luke Bratton's just been carded. I assume that's something he said, complaining. 4th booking of the season for the Bulls' new full-time skipper after the departure of Valérjaman. Nice touch by Lolly. Caceres, Costa just having a reach for it. Courtney Perkins just calling for the pickle juice before he can take the throw. Warm evening in Campbelltown. Change in the offing for the Bulls. Peter Makrulos, he's being readied by Miller Sajovski. Here's Lolly, just slightly behind Segicic, but he still forces a save out of Philip Curto.
And buoyant enough in his goal-scoring form to shoot on the turn, and Curto was totally alert to it. Just slightly off the pass. Curto didn't switch off, couldn't. He can't when Segicic is around and when he's in this mood.
Sydney still searching for the safety of that second goal. Corner work short through Senna and Caceres. Costa. Senna. Lolly. It's almost on the M2. Back to Sydney.
Not his best, safe to say.
Here's that change for Macarthur. Peter Makrulos to replace Liam Rose, perhaps understandably, running out of gas a little bit. It's going to be a triple change. Matt Yerman to replace Ivan Vujica. Chris Economidis has also come off. And its first appearance in Bulls colours since December for Yanni Nicolau. Oh, and Sydney have pinched a second goal. And the super sub has done it again. Quite extraordinary. A horrible mistake by the Bulls. And Adrian Segicic didn't need a second invitation. And he's weaved his magic off the bench once again. And Sydney FC now do have that 2-goal cushion.
Well, there is a reward for strikers who are prepared to pressurise central defenders. On the Harvey Norman replay, Adrian Segacic gets that reward for that endeavour. It's unfortunate for Macarthur, really unfortunate, particularly for Bolly, who has been outstanding until now. But that copybook is well and truly blemished now. Segacic adds to his impressive tally. Sydney gets some breathing room, and Bolly licks his wounds.
Well, I think Milisajovski's face tells its own story. They've had to work really hard just to stay in this game, Macarthur. Second best for long periods, but that mistake means it's an awful long way back now for the Bulls. And another little reminder, I guess, from Adrian Segacic that he's probably not content with playing that super sub role. 10 shots on target out of 24. And the Bulls still to register one on target.
Yeah, and the Bulls not even really getting a chance to see if their subs and the reformation that's coming with those substitutions could have taken an impact on the game. They've gone to 3 at the back, 2 wing backs now.
Steadied down by Jake Holman. Sydney throw. Well, the final third entries probably a bit closer than I expected them to be.
I too had to take a double look at that.
It's probably a fair reflection of the way things have gone. There's Courtney Perkins. Pursued by Saifuddin Cowie. Segacic. Caceres takes over. It's a great feed by Adrian Caceres. Anthony Caceres even. That was going back a few years. And Costa fires wide.
Beautiful from Caceres. Look at it. I mean, he's I love watching the balance, the surety of touch. It's a great stretch from Luke Bratton. I mean, he's a bloke if he was going to have Caceres score a goal like that against him. Wonderful from Caceres, who manages, Simon, that type of play on the back of routinely being, if not the top, in the top 2 or 3 players in the Sydney lineup for distance covered. It's a phenomenal output. He and Corey Holman often going neck and neck at the top of the kilometres chart. Caceres on the back of all that running still comes up with the arc.
That's one of the reasons why he's broken through at a comparatively advanced age into the national team reckoning. There's big internationals coming up later this month against Indonesia and China. It'll be a Bulls throw. Give their fans something to cheer about. It's been a tough night for them. Got a free kick here. The foul on Cowie.
Well, it's been the late comeback league this year, A-League men's. We're not even in the death throes of the match. There's still 15 plus stoppages to play. A goal changes everything, as we know. We've seen it enough. We've seen Sydney come back from the dead. We've seen Sydney lose matches from winning positions. Can Macarthur strike soon?
It's Cowie's delivery, too flat. Easily steered away to safety by Joel King. Back in by Adamson, a touch by Jake Holman. King again lashes it forward. Caceres. And Segacic is away, and Curto out to meet him bravely. And successfully. Substitutions remains down, and now Courtney Perkins is down as well. So you've got 2 wounded players at the moment. Philip Curto's been Macarthur's best by quite some distance tonight. And he's had to be.
Yeah, he got to that ball first. It was a tightly run thing. And the contact really hurt Segacic. He tried to nick in again, but couldn't quite get there, and then falls awkwardly.
Contact sending him a tumbling. And Courtney Perkins picking up a whack to the face as well. So Sydney get the drop. Here is Senna. Nice little manoeuvre through midfield. This was a fraction short for Lolly, who was collected at least partly by Nicolau. Sydney fans cheering every pass at the moment, believing their team is almost in showboat territory. Performance has certainly been convincing enough to suggest that, but the scoreline isn't quite yet. Here's Lolly. Corey Holman. Segacic held up by Uskok. A chance for Macrulos to turn. Steaming forwards. On the left was Yanni Nicolau. It's great energy shown by Ryan Grant. Still sprightly at 34.
And still doing a terrific job in the centre of defence. New for him this season.
It's his birthday this week, by the way, Ryan Grant, turning 34. Bratton, and nobody's gone with Cowie here, and Macarthur are on the board, or are they? No. Flag has gone up against the Tunisian near side. And just for a moment, the Bulls fans thought they had a lifeline. VAR will check. I think he is just offside. Unless you disagree, Hubs?
No, well, not on the angle we've been given. A tidy touch and finish, that's the positive. And he's looked, since he's come off the bench, as a player who can do something for the Bulls. Just confirming in the booth that the assistant referee's call was correct.
Sean Evans leading the VAR team tonight, and that is confirmed. Alan Kersey saying Sydney need to get on with it. It's a little glimmer of hope was very quickly snuffed out for Macarthur. Two Holmans in direct combat, and it's Jake who wins the decision. There's Nicolau. No foul on that occasion. Senna with Bratton snapping away at his heels. Caceres given away. Scrap for possession. In the end, it's Keely Adamson in possession. And shots from Macrulos, charge down. Adamson again. Touch forward by Bratton. Bolly. Uskok. Adamson. Cowie. Headed into the ground by Joel King. There's Senna. That's the verdict. A little bit better from the Bulls.
Look, it's been a battle for them to make an imprint in the game. There's the collection of offside players, only one counted. That was Cowie. Nice Nice control, nice finish. Good practice run. They're tough for the Bulls tonight. They defended well against Sydney with such awesome firepower. It's a it's going to be difficult for any team in the comp. And Sydney's lineup of stars starts shining in unison, and they come very close to full throttle here tonight. And you've got Douglas Costa, seemingly now injury-free, running into this sort of form, utterly dominant.
It's asking an awful lot of Keely Adamson.
Beautiful to watch in the meantime. And a really difficult assignment at home for Macarthur, who fought hard, defended well for large periods.
They hung in there, didn't they? And just one defensive slip. Credit to Adrian Segicic, who charged at Kevin Bollian. Deflection went his way. Forward by Caceres. Ryan Grant is furthest forward. Segicic in the middle. He's not quite able to wrap the boot around it and divert it towards his teammate. How do you rate Sydney FC's chances in the Champions League 2 quarterfinals against John Book? Big name in Asian circles.
Huge, very successful, and Sydney are in it. Really, I think their case has really been emboldened by the acquisition of Alex Grant at the back, and it looks really promising for as long as Douglas Costa leads the attacking charge. They've got great players, he's the best of them, looking really good out of tonight and then into that Champions League quarter-final.
It's probably with one eye on Thursday that's play out the full 90 minutes. Jadon Kucharski is replacement. No goal for the Brazilian tonight, but wow, did he entertain us. Terrific.
Well, forced a couple of saves and hit the post.
Hey!
Sydney FC just over 5 minutes away from that rarest of things for them this season as well, Harps. Back-to-back clean sheets. You mentioned the acquisition of Alex Grant. The missing piece defensively.
This might come out the wrong way, but Sydney have just not been big enough, bad enough, or bruising enough in the centre of their defence this year.
Might not yet keep a clean sheet. Here's Marin Jakalic, and Devonish Mears finally forced into some meaningful work, but again the offside flag is raised. And look at the goalkeeper punching the air. He wants that clean sheet.
That's a good steal. He's drifted. Nice bit of work by the aforementioned Alex Grant of Grant & Grant.
Firm of solicitors.
Defence lawyers, yeah.
There's the Paramount Plus player index marks for tonight. Patrick Klimala, the scorer of the first goal. Joe Lolly in second. Philip Curto has pulled off some really wonderful saves to keep the Bulls in it in third.
But I think on Alex Grant, he's brought, in the short amount we've seen, and certainly by reputation, he's brought the bigness, the badness and the bruisiness. He can play as well, of course, but you know, Sydney have really missed that. I think what we've seen tonight, Alex hasn't been overly tested. He's done what he's needed to do well. I think what we've seen tonight is how...
Mistake by Alex Grant could open the door for the Bulls. Adamson, and it needed that touch from Harrison Devonish Mears just to make sure. Is that their first official shot on target?
Needed some saving, that's for sure. Adamson, head down, over the ball, nice balance, good contact, good save from Devonish Mears, who would have looked in admiration from at the other end of the field as Curto had done his thing.
Cowie's corner, and it's headed over at the back post by Matt Yerman.
That's a brilliant chance for Matt Yerman, a brilliant chance. That's the late lifeline that Sturjowski had imagined. And arrives. Geez, that's a good chance. It's even better on replay. 6-yard line.
Just wonder if Matt Yearman didn't really expect that ball to come through to him. Seemed to react a fraction late. There we go. That effort from Keely Adamson was the Bulls' first shot on target of the night. Had to wait 86 minutes for it. Holman. Perkins slightly inelegantly. There's Saifuddin Cowie, safely pouched by Devonish Mears.
Swallows that one gratefully. There was a decent bit of space at the near post there.
Little pat on the shoulder there from Peter Macrolos. I think those two were teammates at Rockdale. New South Wales. So they both played for Rockdale. Just wonder if they were both there at the same time. Here's Adamson. It's beyond Yakalish. Lolly. And here's a chance. And it's blazed by Yanni Nicolau over the top of the bar. It's the sort of night it's been for those Bulls supporters.
Well, they've had to work on with crumbs tonight. Sydney have had the ball most of the time. But in the last couple of minutes, they've had two excellent sights at goal. The Matt Yearman header came after the Keely Adamson shot, which was on target, and that from Nicolau. Two really excellent chances to provide some late hope and then, by extension, drama at Campbelltown Stadium.
Sydney FC edging towards first win on the road since the 1st of November. And it will take them back into the top 6. Yakalish coming towards the ball from an offside position. 5 additional minutes at the end of the 90. And I guess my question now for you, Harps, on the Bulls is, you see them making the finals. I mean, early part of the season, they looked nailed on. They won the Australia Cup. They're in good form, as high as second, as mentioned, after a few rounds. They're fast fading.
Yeah, it might be getting to that point. The other thing is they're in the top group of teams for games played. Not by much, mind, but that game or two that is going to count. They dropped to 8th, within striking distance still of Sydney in 6th. So it's well and truly still game on, but they'll be happy to see the back of Sydney. This has been too much for them tonight. Said that, you know, there's still time, a goal, and they could get a huge charge of electricity. They've had a couple of chances recently.
Here's Cowie, if he gets through. Yakalish was the onside. It's Keely Adamson. Oh, and he and Yakalish left it for each other. And now the flag does go off. I fancied that Yakalish might have been offside anyway. And that proved to be the case.
Well, it's that's the ball there which rendered Yakalish offside. And the confusion after that just became a moot point. And again, it was a rare bit of space in midfield for Macarthur to actually try and exploit an opportunity.
Previously, 2 tough away games to come for the Bulls on the back of this, away to Melbourne City and then Adelaide. They've got a late corner here though. And a goal for the Macarthur Bulls here could just set the Sydney nerves jangling a bit. Too much time left. It's Marin Yakulish with the corner. Bolly throwing himself at the ball, back in by Bratton, and a safe take by Devonish Mears. For goalkeeper just making his way in the A-League. Clean sheets, of course, breeds some confidence as well. He's had some difficult moments in his breakthrough campaign. It's handball against Bratton. Free kick's been given Sydney's way, and Ufuk-Talay is still arguing with the fourth official, Lachlan Kivas.
I think he had a view that that was an intentional handball.
Yeah.
That instead of stopping an attack, she might have yielded a yellow card.
Luke Bratton, of course, already in the book.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the world according to Ufi.
Not much charity in professional football, even with your former favourites. Turned back by Jake Holman, by Kevin Bolly. Segicic sniffing for another little opportunity. Back by Senna. It's Grant's challenge from Macrolos was a little bit late. It's the sort of commitment that will perhaps please Miloš, but certainly mistimed. Grants. Kucharski told that he had time. But Joel King. Segicic looking for handball there against Uskok. Kersey not interested. Cowie. He's certainly shown that he's got plenty to offer for Macarthur.
I think so. I think you're right. He moves well. Good touch.
Now that is full time, and it's the first win away from home since the 1st of November for Sydney FC. One that takes them into the top 6 and sends them back off into Asia in good spirits. Patrick Klimala with the opening goal. They had to be patient to find that breakthrough. And then who else? Adrian Segicic off the bench again, closing down Kevin Bolly's attempted clearance for his 13th goal in all competitions this season. Sydney good value for the 3 points, which will please their large band of travelling fans. Another damaging defeat though for Macarthur, who continue to struggle here in Campbelltown. That early season promise fast fading in the wake of some of those key departures. Good contest this one, but Sydney in the end worthy winners. Macarthur 0, Sydney FC 2. Well, Sydney back into the top 6. They now have a 2-week break, Andy Harper, before they're back in action against Wellington Phoenix. But that was a job well done, I'm sure Ufuk-Talay will be saying to his players.
Yeah, and the plan is for this to be an incredibly hectic finish to the season. Hopefully the team can get through the quarter-final, home and away against John Book, and then set fair for the semis and then the final. That's the path there.